the evidence, brave dreams. My strength is killing me. You're what I need to weather storms. It's in your eyes, I know.
Take me to the place where love increases. Break me from the accusations. New cells dance, holy hands. Dance, dance, dance. Just enough to spin my world around. Just enough to spin my whole world around. Just enough to spin my world around. Just enough to spin my whole world around. 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 Just enough to spin my whole world around. Just enough to spin my whole world around. Just enough to spin my whole world around.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? This is Danielle Speaks. I welcome you on. So the video that you saw is from some good friends of mine called the Hollybells. I met them several years ago on the Extreme Tour, and they're just one of the groups that we connected. And not only did we connect, I thought it was just amazing. Whenever I see family groups together, like I'm always in awe of how do you navigate being a family, being Christian, being in music, and being in ministry. Like there's like so many different levels on that. So I just lit in my spirit. I said, let me text them one day and I said, hey, just mark me off some time, see when you can come on. And they were so gracious and they agreed. And I wanted to start that video. Now, one thing that's spectacular about that video that you saw is that we filmed it right in the middle, right on tour. So we had went and we set up the stage and we just took a walk down the block and we just saw a place and we had just a very limited time and we went, we filmed it, and as you can see, it turned out wonderful. We absolutely love it. So without further ado, I would like for you guys to welcome the Hollybells. Hello there, Hollybells.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do real quick, if you don't mind, is introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Doesn't matter who starts, just go for it.
Switch my hands. Hey. Howdy. I'm the guitar player in the band. I usually record and engineer all of our music, kind of musical director, and I also happen to be an ordained minister. But mostly I just love Jesus, and I met Jesus when I was a punk rock kid and searching for meaning and identity, and I was apprehended by the Lord. He was that missing thing that I kept looking for.
Hello, I'm Harley. I am 19 and I am the drummer of the band. Right now, I am going to school at a college called Santiago Canyon College, and I'm studying business. And I'm also working at Starbucks for a little part-time job. And then in my free time, I'm trying to work on my own music, and I'm also really excited for us to work together on new projects too.
Amen.
Yay. And I love that we get free coffee from Starbucks every week.
That's true. And for me, every day.
It's one of the perks.
Yeah, it is.
And
Mhm.
I'm Marnie. I sing and I play rhythm guitar, and I'm the mama. And
Yeah.
just it's just been a really good season to write new music. I think when we came back from Extreme Tour,
Mhm.
August or so, we started getting together and just letting that the creativity, the whole experience, impact us. And so, we're kind of experimenting with new sounds. We're doing a little more electronic music, mixing it up, maybe doing some even heavier stuff.
I
So
hope
it's
so.
like lighter, heavier, just,
We'll see.
make it fresh.
Amen. What I love, as many things I love about the group, but one of the things that I love is the versatility, because it's like both of you guys, all of you, you flow like in your own space, but when it comes together, it's great. And when I first heard you guys, I was like, man. Matter of fact, when I first heard you, it was at the Objective.
Oh wow.
It was the Objective. That was the very first time, and I heard that sound, and I was like I just got a front row seat at a major concert, and nobody told me. Like, was us on there. I was like, wow, that is great. And then when I found out that I was going to be on the same leg as you guys on tour, I was like, oh my goodness, you mean I get more of this? Like, I must be God's favorite because he just keeps blessing me. I'm not saying that I am. I'm just saying that it's kind of apparent. So when I got to see you guys and travel with you guys on tour and really get to like sit down and talk to you guys, I just love the dynamics. I just love the dynamics that I saw. So if you guys don't know, one of my favorites that I do love is that I think female drummers rock, period. There's
you.
just something about a female drummer that I'm like, yes, just go for it, just rock out. I'm going to kind of start this off with you, Harley. Like, how do you balance drumming for Jesus with that personal walk? Because, and I ask this question because there's a lot of pressure when you're in music, period.
Yeah.
But to be in doing music, and to be young in high school, go to college, like there's a lot of pressure to say, like, why do you even bother to do what you do? So how do you balance that and find your ground as far as being a drummer for Jesus and your walk with him?
Wow. That is a really good question. I really like that question. I've never been asked that before, I think. Where do I start? So with drumming, I feel like, I mean, this goes for every instrument. Like, there has to be a certain level of focus. There's definitely dynamics. And I feel like I have struggled in the past a little bit with, like, focusing on, like, I'm doing this for Jesus, Like, it's not just to be there or play for people. Like, at the end of the day, I guess you could say, like, my little motto for drumming is just, like, I am not playing drums for anyone but God, but I also want drumming to be something that God uses to, like, bless and touch other people. But yeah, I was thinking about that because I had this one point in my life where I lost my drum teacher that had taught me up until maybe like 8th grade. No, high school.
Maybe
High school.
Yeah,
It was definitely
Wow.
high school, actually.
About 5th grade.
Yeah, 5th grade, I started when I was 10, and then I worked my way up, I think, until like freshman, sophomore year, but he passed away, and it kind of left me at a dead end. It was just like weird. It was hard for me to just like go back to playing right away. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, you know?
Mm.
And then I feel like from then on, I'm like, I liked drumming, but still, it was just a little bit different than it used to be. But I ended up like getting back into it again. Everything was fine. And I also realized that like, in a way, I'm still like playing a living piece of what he did, of what he showed me. So like the legacy continues, you know? But I think
Good.
that at the end of the day, I always just need to realize I'm like, look, there are going to be times when you play music that are going to be absolutely amazing. And there's going to be other times where you're like, oh, I wish I could have done better, or I didn't really like how that went, or I don't even want to do this right now, you know? But at the end of the day, I just have to realize that like I am playing drums for God, and like God gave me this gift, and it's just like the same for you guys. Like God gave you the gift of playing guitar and singing for you and rapping for you and like all this other stuff, making videos. And yeah, it's just really about focusing on like, okay, God gave me this gift. That's who I'm playing for and nobody else.
And I think we kind of all have those moments where we're like, I just don't feel it today.
Yeah, or
You
should
know?
I be, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely seen God work though beautifully through my drumming and all of us. But yeah, I think that's just like my answer. Just like the balance of drumming just comes from God, like immensely. It's just coming from Him, and that's how I balance it. Is just knowing that like He gave me this gift. I can't just throw it away. You know, I can't just push it to the side. You know, like I have to do it. That's what we're called to do. You know, like He gave us these gifts for a reason, so we got to do it. We
Do
don't know
you
how,
find that
but He
do you
works through
find
us.
that God in those moments, when you're away from the stage,
Mm.
when it's just like you hanging out, that God is definitely using those abilities, just as a way to show others your age Him, like
Mhm.
it's a tool to draw them in.
Yes.
Have you experienced anything like that?
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, I think that's very true. I agree. Yes. Uh-huh. It's definitely uses it to draw other people in. Or I've like played before and then like someone will compliment me or say like, "Oh wow, that was really cool." And then we'll just kind of go off and then all of a sudden we're talking about God and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I see there. God, I see what you're doing." You know, and sometimes you don't even talk about God, but you just know that the Holy Spirit's there. You just know that like you had to say this to this person or you had to like connect with them. You know, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And God works
Absolutely.
in various ways.
Ain't that true? Now, Paul and Marnie, you guys have been doing music for a while, and what I find interesting about that is that a lot of times when we're doing stuff, um, people assume that we're local artists, not knowing that a lot of times we've already worked with people in the music industry, like with major labels, with major artists, and it's just that we have decided to do it a different way, meaning like, we've decided it to be independent so that we can have control over our creative flow, and not have anyone over that. But I also know that whether you're in Christian music, whether you're not in Christian music, music itself is a whole other beast. Period. Like it's it's it can be very cruel, but it's always very demanding. It demands a lot of your time in order to keep progressing and going forward. So throughout your years of being in music ministry, like, can you share some of your challenges that you've had to face as being music artists? Not now, but I want you to like go back. What were some of your first struggles that you had to go through as being in the music industry?
That's interesting.
I'm looking at you.
I love all these
Yeah,
questions.
Jump in there. Just jump in there.
So kind of for me, I was like as a kid, I didn't really have a musical family or anything. and really, I loved music a lot, maybe like from middle school, junior high, just super into music. And even God kind of used that to sort of bring me to himself, that music was involved in the process. So doing music is kind of like a dream that I never thought I'd be able to even be a part of. So I still find myself really like enamored with the fact that I even get to do it. It's pretty amazing to me. But so then I met Marnie, when we were teens, in our late teens, and Marnie was not like me. Marnie grew up in a family that was extremely musical. So music was very natural for her. So I'm very fortunate that she, allowed me to be a part of that. Her family just kind of allowed me to be a part of what they were doing. And so there was definitely some attention when we started to make music on our own. There was definitely, Marnie is very talented. So we got attention, and people wanted to work with us and different things. But what happened many times was, even like we'd hear, oh, this label would send us something. We're interested in like coming and checking you guys out and everything. And then I'd ask around about that label, and I'd find out like, wow, like they do not treat their artists well. Like they could be even a Christian label, and all I hear is like the deals, like they're ripping people off, and it's just not an honorable deal, So we found ourselves passing on working with certain people because I just didn't feel like I could take something that like God gave us the opportunity to do, something that's like really precious from him, and sort of sell it off for the sake of some sort of success or notoriety. I just never felt good about it. So I guess it's interesting because that does limit certain opportunities that you have, because you're not willing to
Compromise.
you're not willing to compromise. You're not willing
Your
to
freedom.
compromise your passions. You're not willing to compromise relationship and say, I know that this is not going to be a healthy place for us to be, but I'm willing to do it to sort of get ahead in music, and I even remember we had done some gigs, and like some guys had come down from LA to see us, and we had friends there, and our friends are like, oh yeah, like we were by the bathrooms and we heard those guys talking, like the A&R guys, and they're like, oh yeah, well, like the first thing we've got to do is like we got to get her away from him. She's got to be solo artist. She's got to change the way she dresses. It's got to be like this. And our friends like told us, I just told the guys to their face, I'm like, you know what? I just said, I'm just going to let you know that like we're Jesus people. Like we are not going to do something that God wants us to do. So if you want to work with full on Jesus people, we're maybe we can talk, but if you're not into that, then we're kind of done today, so that.
So good.
Yeah.
We're just done today. But tell you what, real quick, because we have some people who are just now coming on. So I'm going to do something that I normally don't do. I'm going to do a part 1 and a part 2.
Okay.
So I want you guys to stay put. I'm going to correct some technical difficulties. So you guys, we will be right back.